What's up, everybody? I'm Katie.
And I'm Morgan.
And this is For Your Misinformation, a podcast dedicated to empowering women to be more politically engaged so we can act in our own best interests.
Let us break down the problem and tell you what we're doing and what you can do to help solve it.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Morgan.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
All right. You know, I'm taking the good with the bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of both.
Yeah, I slept for 15 hours last night.
So. You needed it. You needed it. You deserved it too. You earned it. We've all earned it.
I don't know what's going on. I truly wish to be put into a medically induced coma. Like, I want that more than anything. I mean, I can't because there's too much phone banking to do. But like, wouldn't that be nice? Just until like mid-November, wake up, see what's up.
Yep.
And then decide if you want to go back into a coma and for how long.
Yeah. I have never related more like to that scene in Schitt's Creek where Moira's just like, I could kill for a good coma right now. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I could. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're listening to this the day it comes out, there's 8 days until the election is over. If you haven't voted yet, go vote early. That's your safest option. If you are voting by mail and you haven't returned your ballot yet, don't mail it anymore. Bring it to a drop box if your state allows drop boxes.
Yep. Not one of those sketchy, weird, random, like California drop boxes that the Republican Party's putting out. Like, bring it to a real drop box.
Yeah, make sure that you're looking at an official, like, state ballot drop box site. It should end with .gov.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of the times you can actually bring it to the polling place. Mm-hmm. The actual, like, polling place is accepting them. That's a great option.
Yeah.
Try to do that.
In a mask.
Oh my gosh, yes. In a mask, people. We've been through this.
Yeah, speaking of COVID, as of the day we're recording this, on October 23rd, there are 223,000 COVID deaths in the United States. Not to like dwell on this, but that didn't need to happen. Mm-mm. There's been like literally no pandemic response, no national pandemic response, which is unacceptable. I talked about this on Instagram, on my like most recent Instagram post, but like when I say this is a transnational crime syndicate masquerading as a government, like it really is, and that puts other people in danger because they're incompetent. They don't know what to do. They have no interest in governing. Like, if they cared about us, like people are like, well, we can't close the restaurants because what about the people who work there? And it's like the government should give them money to stay home. Like the House has passed a bill to give more stimulus checks to people, and Republicans, because they don't give a shit about Americans or governing or making our lives better, they only care about like enriching themselves and consolidating power for white people.
Yeah. Remember when we bailed out all the banks that were too big to fail?
I do.
And all of those other very large companies.
It's
you're saying we can't, like we can't bail out my local donut shop, but we could bail out. Yeah, no, we could bail out Wall Street.
Yes, exactly. So
also, I'm very sorry about my dogs making all the sounds.
I think it's endearing.
He's very upset right now.
Do you want to tell them why they're upset?
Okay, yeah. So I was going to save this for the fucking hoorays, but now you can find out a little early why my dog is so upset. So I rescued 2 guinea pigs, and they are adorable and so funny. And Abby, my little mutt, she just wants to eat their poop. Otherwise, she thinks the guinea pigs are fine and great. Sage, the golden retriever, thinks they are a new toy just for him that we are not letting him have. And he's very upset and is just very angry with me. He has just broken into the room in which the guinea pigs and I are podcasting. So for you listeners on our YouTube,
record the video.
Say hi. Oh.
So Now we're recording, so if you want to watch this on YouTube, you can see Morgan's dogs.
Yeah,
We're
you can
very
see my
upset
dogs.
because there's guinea
Hi,
pigs in the
Abby.
room.
Yep. Maybe later I can even put the guinea pigs on camera as a little treat to our YouTube friends.
Yes, perfect.
But yes, my guinea pigs are safe from the dogs. I am a good guinea pig mom. I keep them, separate. But he just really wants to be in the same room so he can try to get to his new balls, which move and eat and make cool sounds.
I mean, that sounds really fun to me.
Yeah, I'm real over his behavior.
He's high maintenance.
He really is. He is
All right.
just a big baby.
Tell me about your actions for the week to save democracy. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm phone banking. It's never too late to start phone banking if you haven't
Excellent.
already. With the organization Battleground Iowa, as well as with Planned Parenthood votes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole lot of fun.
And you've been phone banking with Battleground Iowa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And friend banking.
Bless you.
So phone banking and friend banking, which is texting the people that you know to encourage them to vote by mail, vote early, vote, be registered to vote, kind of all of those things. And then to also tell all of them to, hey, why don't you reach out to at least 3 people and remind them to vote, or see if they need a ride to your polling place or whatever. Definitely that power in numbers. That's been a really fun thing. And then instead of just telling everybody else to vote, I went and cast my own ballot on Wednesday of this week. So real fun. Everybody was in masks. I only had to wait in line for maybe a half hour. Was not bad at all. People were all in their masks and not complaining about it. Nobody was actually sitting like on the little tape X's that were 6 feet apart. People didn't follow that. But, whatever. Close enough, I guess. That didn't feel too bad to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Felt really good voting for Teresa Greenfield and some of my other local elections. So we'll see. Deed is done. Other action this week shouldn't be political. Got my flu shot. Everybody go get your damn flu shot. Just go do it. It's fine.
Yes, it's extra important this year because of coronavirus. Like, we don't need to add any extra unnecessary congestion to hospitals because of the flu. So get your flu shot.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just want to say that Iowa, I think we've already talked about this, but like switched from toss up to lean dem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not like, okay, so we know polls are bullshit, polls are astrology, whatever, don't pay attention to the polls. They don't, I think of polls the same way as I think of my body fat calculator, which I don't look at anymore.
Yep.
But,
or my BMI. It doesn't actually predict anything about my actual health.
Yes, exactly.
But
also that like the number on it on my like at home body fat percentage thingy is probably wrong. But like trends, it trends in the right direction. Like if I'm losing body fat, like it does go down on my at home body fat percentage thingy. Like, so that's okay. All I'm trying to say is you've been calling for Teresa Greenfield in Iowa, and it has shifted in the polls from toss up to lean dem. And now people are saying it might be the state to flip the Senate back to Democrats, which would mean some actual oversight in Congress. Like if we impeached Trump again, we could get some fucking witnesses.
I would be so proud of Iowa if we flipped the Senate.
No, that's you. Like you did that phone banking. Like you
so
and everybody else who did that phone banking. So that's why we want you guys to join us. Like that's not a coincidence. Like phone banking works. Activism works. So.
Yeah.
I guess
so.
Okay.
What have you been up to?
I didn't even plan that, but actually yes, that's a good segue. Also, Morgan's dog is just like chilling on the video with his tongue out. So if that's something that you're into, watch this on YouTube. But all right. So I am phone banking every day between now and the election, except for Friday. I'm taking Friday as like a mental health day. And then I'm like going ham until the election. So if anybody wants to join me, please join me. For Planned Parenthood votes, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday, all day Tuesday. So these are all in Central Time. From 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. From 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Monday. From 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday. I'll be phone banking. Join me. It's really, really fun. The link to sign up is in our link tree. It's very, very fun. And then the one that I am very excited to tell you about, because I never in a million years would have thought that this would happen. But I guess when you start your own podcast, you get to do whatever you want. And sometimes that means that you get to reach out to like your heroes and they respond to you. So I reached out to Andrea Chalupa of Gaslit Nation and asked if they wanted to like co-host a phone bank on Halloween. And they said yes. So we're phone banking on Halloween with Gaslit Nation and Indivisible. Nick is running the training. If you've never done a phone bank before, no big deal. Nick will train you. It's very easy. That is from 4:30 to 6:30 on Halloween. It's called the Fascism or Treat Gaslit Nation Phone Bank.
I'm wearing a costume. So
oh yeah, we're wearing costumes. I haven't decided what I want to be yet, but
you all better be there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that she said yes. I mean, so Andrea Chalupa is a journalist, a scholar of authoritarian states, specifically Ukraine. She just wrote a really, really good movie called Mr. Jones about the like genocide famine, Stalin's genocide famine in Ukraine, which was essentially covered up. Walter Duranty got a Nobel Prize for reporting for the New York Times on it, and he didn't. He basically like totally failed. And Gareth Jones is okay, whatever. You get the idea. Watch.
We should have a watch party. How do you make watch parties
Mr.
work?
Jones? But she is brilliant, and she, I mean, is one of the reasons that like inspired me to be more outspoken about politics. And the quote, "This is a transnational crime syndicate masquerading as a government," comes from Gaslit Nation. So on Halloween from 4:30 to 6:30, she'll be at our phone bank. So you should join us and meet my personal hero, Andrea Chalupa.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. We're going to have fun. So
I can't believe that worked out. I also, we're phone banking to Pennsylvania. I want to tell you why. My best friend, she's been on the podcast, Lindsay, lives in Pennsylvania, and she applied to vote by mail. Nothing ever came of it. Like, you can check online, like her application has still not been like received or processed. She applied over a month ago. Went to her local polling place. So she hates calling people. So I was going to call for her later in the day, and she was like, "You know what? It's fine. Like, I'll just go. I'll vote in person, or I'll talk to the election people, whatever." So she went to her local election authority. The person just wasn't there. Like, the person who's supposed to like answer the questions about stuff like that just like didn't show up that day, or hadn't shown up yet. It was kind of early, and it was, I mean, they should have been at work.
Okay, yes, because even if it's just like incompetence, it's still criminally negligent because it's voter suppression, and that should be illegal in this country.
Okay, so that happened. Then she so because that, she was like, whatever, since I'm here, I'll just vote now. So she waited in line for like more than an hour, which compared to like some communities of color is like super speedy. Right. But there were other people in the line who had the exact same problem that she did. Like, they applied to vote by mail, but it didn't. So basically, and she sent me a picture of a shit ton of Trump signs, like far enough away from the polling place, but like still in view of the polling place. And that made me so anxious about Pennsylvania, which absolutely should have gone blue in 2016. Like, Biden can't win the election without winning Pennsylvania. That now we're phone banking to Pennsylvania. Like, I was like, yep, no, that's the state. That's the one we gotta guarantee Pennsylvania for Biden. So sometimes anxiety is productive and it motivates you to action.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Love it.
Yes. I mailed all my vote forward letters. I got one confirmation
You
back
mailed
that
so many letters.
yes.
Everybody applaud Katie. She mailed so many letters.
Thank you.
Snaps
I
for
haven't done the
Katie.
math to figure out how long it took me, and I don't think I'm ever going to because it's a lot of hours. But thank you. Yes, I'm excited. I got one confirmation back already that somebody committed to vote because of my letter, so that's exciting. I also found out that my dad was text banking Latino voters today, which is amazing. I'm so proud of him.
Good job,
Go
Don.
Dad. And then I have done this week. I encourage everybody to do it. Call Congress and demand no confirmation on Amy Coney Barrett or no vote on Amy Coney Barrett until after inauguration. And ask them to be creative because this is an enormous threat that I don't think people are thinking about in the right way. But they're trying to confirm her so that she'll help them steal the election. Like, they're hoping that there will be enough like uncertainty and whatever that they can challenge like mail-in ballots in the courts. And Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and John Roberts all like are of the opinion that, and they were all involved in the Bush v. Gore Florida recount in 2000 and like argued to stop the recount that gave the election to Bush instead of Gore. So it's like they're hiding in plain sight. Like they're trying to ram her through in like 30 days.
I hate it.
Which is like a criminally short amount of time. She's only been a judge for 3 years. Like she has like 1% of the writings that like some of the other Supreme Court justices have. It's just, and oh my God, it's tragic. Like
it's tragic. It should be embarrassing to this country.
Yeah.
As like a very poor statement regarding our democracy.
Yes. Maybe I'll put in a little like clip of Sheldon Whitehouse explaining it because he is like really good at explaining it. But yes, so please call Congress, demand no confirmation until after inauguration, and ask that they be creative. And like Dick Durbin, my senator, has been like the king of, he's like fucking Eeyore. He's like, there's nothing we can do about it. And it's like, okay, well, you're old and white and nothing's going to happen to you. Like,
that was a great
impression.
impression.
Get taken away. My friends aren't going to be able to get married anymore. Like,
yeah.
I can't wait. He's up for election now. I can't wait for 6 years from now until we replace him with someone cooler. Yeah. Like, there's nothing like super wrong with him, but like, I would like somebody who has a little bit of urgency when the Republicans are trying to nominate somebody who's going to take all of our rights away.
Yeah. Yep. Like,
and I don't think that's too much to ask for.
The bar is so low sometimes for our elected officials. Like, oh,
and
he's not awful.
Men in general. But yes.
This is true.
Yes.
We have had this conversation.
Yes. I guess, let me clarify, cis, straight, white men. Well, yeah, they're the worst. They're the worst.
It's
typically.
true. Yeah. And if like, you're like, I'm not, then maybe we're not talking about you.
Yeah, don't worry.
Maybe we are, and you just don't know how much you suck.
Well, I don't know. Every time people are like, fucking white people to me, like, I'm immediately like, oh my God, I know. So,
it's so true.
I don't get defensive about it.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a petty rant about that at the end of today's episode for all of you.
Yay. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Ooh, I'm so excited. So we are going to talk about our hopeful future vice president of the United States, our future hopeful first female president of the United States.
Ooh.
You don't know. So we're going to talk about Kamala Harris.
Yay.
Who is Kamala Harris? And what's she all about? She's a complex person, and we don't want this episode to be 3 hours long. So I'm really going to break it down, in a real concise manner. Also, at some point, I deleted like most of my notes about her voting records and stuff like that by accident. But like you can find that online, literally on her website. All of that is there. It's not hard to find. It's not hidden. So who's Kamala Harris? Let's start with young Kamala. She was born October 20th. Ooh, she just had her birthday.
Yes, she did.
1964, which, quick pause here. She's older than my parents.
She looks amazing.
She looks amazing.
That was my thought too when I saw the year she was born.
Yeah, I was like, what? Jeez. Yeah, so she was born in Oakland. And, you know, she was born in Oakland. She's like to me, like, she's a civil rights era baby. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother, Shamala, is a biologist, or was a biologist, and an immigrant from India. Her father, a Stanford professor of economics, also an immigrant from Jamaica. So already, like, we know our girl's doing great, considering she is the daughter of 2 immigrants.
Do you know how they met? I do.
It was super cool, right?
It was
real
at a
cute.
civil rights protest.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Like, can we make a movie about this? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Andrea Chalupa, please make a movie about this. Yeah, so Kamala grew up in California with her sister Maya, who was her campaign chairperson for her presidential run earlier this year. If you remember that. She graduated high school in Canada, actually, because Maya, Kamala, and her mom moved there for her mom's job, which was probably really hard. And then she attended Howard University, which is an HBCU, or historically Black college or university, in Washington, D.C. Obviously, she graduated with honors and all of that because she's super smart. And she attended law school at the University of California, Hastings College of Law. And she was president of the Black Law Students Association there. So she's just always been doing great. Top of her game whole way through. She was the deputy district attorney in Alameda County, California, starting in 1990. So just when you and I were about to be born, she was already out there killing it. She was then assistant DA in San Francisco. And so in that position, she actually fought against a measure to try juveniles in adult court, which resulted in her leaving that position because she was like, I can't stand for this. Trying juveniles in adult court should not be happening. Why do we have juvenile court if not for juveniles? Yeah, I think that's great. And it's like, she was still really early in her career. Standing up to something like that was actually a really big risk. But she was like, nope, this is where I stand. My boots are planted. And so she then eventually became the first person of color to be elected as district attorney of San Francisco in 2002.
That's great. I mean,
yeah.
It's sad that it took till 2002, but go her.
Right? Oh, yeah. We've got a little history lesson later. I'll talk about some of that. In that position, she created an environmental crimes unit,
Wow,
a gun crimes unit, a hate crimes unit, and vehemently opposed the death penalty. She also worked for reentry initiatives for returning citizens and led efforts to reduce truancy. Truancy is like when kids aren't going to school. So all of those things are very good. However, also, how in 2002 did San Francisco not already have an environmental crimes unit, a gun crimes unit, a hate crime unit? Like, what? Those things are so important. And yeah, so obviously, like, she's not one of those people who's in a position to just go through the motions. Like, that's a lot of things to create in a pretty short amount of time. She was sworn in as Attorney General of California in 2011 after receiving endorsements from a lot of folks, which I didn't know until I was researching for this episode. One of her endorsements was from Dolores Huerta, who's a human rights icon. So if you're getting that kind of endorsement from a human rights giant, you're doing something right. And Kamala was the first woman, the first Black person, and the first South Asian American to have this position. So for her, I think being the first female vice president will be no sweat. She's very used to first at this point. She worked on a lot of stuff as AG of California. Some of her notable things were breaking up large crime syndicates.
That might come in handy.
Yeah. Also fighting sex crimes also might come in
Oh my
handy.
God, might come in handy.
Yeah, and human trafficking. And she made strides on police reform too. Obviously,
great.
there's controversy surrounding all of that. Like, that's a job in politics. We'll talk about that kind of stuff a little bit too. So then we have Senator Harris. So she was elected into the U.S. Senate in 2017. And so Donald Trump was president at that time. And
can I like interject? I think I talked about
yes.
this before, but the other senator from California is Dianne Feinstein, who is also like just one of the like a Democrat in Congress who is like doing an unacceptable job, who just doesn't understand like the threats of what's going on right now. She thanked Lindsey Graham for like how well he ran these proceedings. And if he wins re-election in South Carolina because of Dianne Feinstein's endorsement, I'm going to be fucking pissed. But like, she cannot be the head of the Judiciary Committee. Like
No.
and then after that, she hugged him. And I don't think he was wearing a mask. Like she has a fundamental misunderstanding. So I hope Kamala Harris wins and there needs to be a new senator. And I think like Dianne Feinstein should resign. Like you have to have like the energy and understanding of somebody like Katie Porter or AOC, or like get the fuck out of the way because like this is important.
Yeah.
That's all.
Like Dianne has done some monumental things. Great. But now it's time to get out of the way because she's not keeping up.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. And like
Onwards.
we are obviously like we are a very left-leaning podcast, but also we're going to call out bullshit on both sides. And some of the insider trading that Kelly Loeffler was wrapped in on Dianne Feinstein's last name came up too.
Yeah.
Name came up too in some of those. We're not ignoring that just because she's a Democrat. That's not how this works. So,
all right, sorry. So
anyway,
Senator Harris 2017.
Senator Harris 2017, right? So right out of the gate, she was like nap and opposing all of Trump's bullshit, like the like quote Muslim ban, all of his 250 something terrible court appointees, and the general existence of Stephen Miller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's our own little vampire slayer. She's known for being a fierce questioner, and honestly, some of the responses to her tenacity are sexist as fuck. And that makes me like her even more because, you know, on this podcast, like, we are going to love any woman who's not going to back down to some patriarchal bullshit. Like,
I think she made Brett Kavanaugh cry.
She did make Brett Kavanaugh cry, and she will always get my vote for that.
Sure.
like no matter what happens in November, she will always be the woman who made Brett Kavanaugh cry, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
So, also, she has worked on bipartisan bills. Like, it's not like just because she's tough that she can't get along with people. And for some reason, that is always an adage that seems to only be like attributed to women, right? Like, oh, she's tough and fierce and all that, so I'm afraid she's not going to get along with people or play nice in the sandbox. And it's like, people never say that shit about men who are the same way. Like, they also like never even call men tough because they just kind of, it's like mutually understood that that's how they are. And I think that's crap.
But I also like women. I don't know. All right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Her voting record is one of the more progressive voting records as a senator as well, which surprises a lot of people. Like, even surprised me at first.
Me too.
But earlier this year when I looked up her voting record, I was like, oh, like, I'm surprised her voting record is this progressive because all I hear about her is that she was a prosecutor and you know, so there's a lot of scrutiny
people
there.
Of color in jail, which is probably like, I guess it's okay to think about stuff like that, but I think it's more important to realize how far she's come on these issues and how important updating is and changing your opinion once you're presented with new data. And it seems like she is excellent at that.
Yeah. And I think so much in politics, especially when you're running for office, and, you know, she's relatively young, but we see this with so many politicians, especially ones who've been around a while, is it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Yeah.
If you change your position on something, then everybody's like, you're a flip-flopper. But then if you don't, then they're like, well, they just dig in their heels and they won't, you know, change their mind when there's new information available. And so it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I would much rather somebody's like, hey, look, times have changed. Hey, look, there's new data now. Hey, look, we know things now that we didn't then. Like that's how the world works.
Yep.
So let's just normalize that. Also something I probably shouldn't have to say, like, let's normalize the way the world works. But here we are. And so it's
a
just
shit ton of people believe like QAnon now. So
right.
No, I think you do need.
It's true though. I mean, and that's the thing, right? I hear from people on the left that she's too moderate and she's a cop, but then people on the right say that she's a communist who like wants to make everyone gay and abolish the military or some shit. And I'm like, okay, well, she's obviously not both or probably either of those things. So maybe she's actually in the middle. Like, and not in the middle as in like moderate, but in the middle as in maybe not an extremist in any way. It's yeah. So, and it's just like, of course there are some things she could have or should have done differently as a prosecutor. We know that. She knows that. And, you know, and during her presidential campaign, there were fair criticisms of her. You know, there was some lack of clarity on her stance on healthcare. And again, some of that was her, you know, voting one way, but then saying like, I don't know, now that I'm faced with some new information, I'm not really necessarily sure that that's the way that I would go now. And either way, she is committed and unyielding in her commitment to investing in improving maternal mortality rates for Black women, which, as an issue, is one of the most important ones, I think, in this country. And like, her views on DACA and immigration, her views on consumer protection from predatory lenders, also very important. She believes in regulation of big tech companies, which anybody who believes in, you know, things like small government and fiscal responsibility should also support things like consumer protection and regulating tech companies. Even though regulating tech companies on the surface sounds like government control, it's actually protecting citizens and ensuring privacy. And also, like, that's how capitalism works. Like, unless you actually do regulate some of the largest companies, you won't actually have capitalism working, which is why our capitalism isn't working in this country.
Yeah, just look around, just take a look outside.
Yep.
That's what's happening right now. It's not working. Corruption and greed are rampant and unregulated, and it's not going well for most people.
Nope.
But it's going really well for a couple people, and they're going to pay millions of dollars to try to keep it that way.
Yeah, and they have millions of dollars and more to spend.
And because of Citizens United in 2010, corporations were deemed people and we couldn't limit their free speech. So corporations are allowed to donate as much money to political campaigns as they want to, meaning people who have more money, their voices are louder. And look, it only took 10 years for it to ruin our entire country and put our democracy on the brink of failure.
Yeah, exactly. And like when it comes to who we vote for, right? We want to pick things that are important to us and then find candidates who align with those beliefs.
Yep.
And these are important things to us on this podcast. And so it's making us really love Kamala the more we learn about her. She might even be the first politician ever I have liked more the more I learn about them. Also, like, she believes that, you know, there should be protections for the LGBTQIA plus community.
Oh,
and
shit.
she
How
also
does that
thinks,
compare to our current vice president?
Right? She also thinks, get this, she thinks women have a right to make their own healthcare decisions.
Oh my God.
Shocking.
Bold progressive queen.
That is why the far right thinks she's a communist. But that's also why we love her. Yeah. So, we know she ran as the Democratic nominee earlier this year and is now the first Black person, the first Indian person, and the third woman ever to be the vice presidential nominee on a major party ticket.
That's amazing.
It's huge and it's exciting. And again, no matter what happens as a result of this election, this is still history in the making. It's still a big deal, and she's still the woman who made Brett Kavanaugh cry and is still a force to be reckoned with in politics.
Oh yeah. Yes,
Absolutely.
So let's go back. Let's go way back, before our parents were even born.
Oh yeah, I have a little quick history lesson for everyone here.
Okay, perfect.
Just a real quick, fast look. At some point, I really want to have a FYMI pod trivia night or an episode with maybe another trivia podcast.
Ooh,
Got my eyes on a couple that I would love to have on our show, and we could play a trivia game. So,
Aw.
these would be some great trivia
That's
questions.
so creative.
Yeah. So in 1952, journalist and activist Carlotta Bass was the first Black woman on the presidential ticket as the vice presidential nominee for the Progressive Party.
Where did that go? We should bring that back.
Yeah, so sometimes people will be like, Kamala is not the first Black woman on a presidential ticket. I mean, that's true. But we are fundamentally we're a two-party system, and she's the first one on one of the major party tickets. But I've heard it pronounced Charlotta and Carlotta Bass. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, technically she was the first for the Progressive Party. Also, yeah, let's make that party a bigger party. Because that sounds great. I know that they still exist. It's just nobody talks about them. And then, so that was in 1952. And then in 1959, the first woman, Ann Alpern, was selected as a state's attorney general. So, yeah, so we know Kamala was the state's attorney general in California. The first woman to have that job anywhere was Ann Alpern in 1959.
Wow.
And then there wouldn't be another one until 1985.
Wow.
1985 before the second woman was selected as a state's attorney general. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. And then a Black woman whose name was Pamela Carter would not hold that position until 1993. So we were both walking and talking and potty training probably by the time a Black woman held the position of an AG for a state. That's crazy. Also, that's the same year that Janet Reno became the first U.S. Attorney General, 1993. The first female U.S. Attorney General.
I know I've been very focused on the Supreme Court lately. I've been dwelling on the Supreme Court. I want to point out, just because the way that you put that a Black woman didn't hold that position until we were humans. Yeah. We existed.
Yeah, we were fully human.
And John Roberts gutted the Voting Rights Act because racism was no longer a thing in America.
Yeah, so we didn't need to protect it.
We didn't no need to protect it anymore, which caused thousands of polling places to close almost exclusively in low-income communities and places where people of color lived, which would obviously disenfranchise a shit ton of people. So, reminder, yes, John Roberts made some moderately reasonable decisions at the end of the last court term, but he is trash, and he is his court's responsible for Citizens United, his court's responsible for gutting the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah. Racism's been over for almost 30 years, you guys. How's that going?
So, reminder that John Roberts is full of fucking shit and he's trash, and I just hope everybody remembers that. I hope they think about it at least once a day, because I definitely do.
Yeah. I don't know what my dogs are doing right now. I apologize, everyone. YouTube friends, I hope you're enjoying this. Yeah, guys, get out of here. Yeah. So continuing with our little history lesson. Shirley Chisholm from New York was the first African-American woman elected to the United States Congress in 1968. So Kamala was born and potty trained. And I mean, at that point, she was 4 years old. So she was probably like reading Shakespeare and doing calculus. Yeah. So 1968, for the first African-American woman was elected to Congress. And then fast forward to 1984, when Geraldine Ferraro was the first woman to be on a major presidential ticket when she was selected as Walter Mondale's running mate. The only other before Kamala was Sarah Palin in 2008. So we had 1984 with Geraldine Ferraro, and then not another woman on a major presidential ticket until 2008. And then it was Sarah Palin, which is almost just like embarrassing.
Exactly. Like she was unqualified and kind of like a little bit opened up the door to like unserious people, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Being, like, considered for legit offices.
I feel like that's when somehow politics became like entertainment.
Yeah, like way more focus on if you like look the part.
Mm-hmm. Which is how we ended up with a reality TV star as our president. Yeah. And even like so many people, I feel like I even hear just in conversation, and like sometimes it's people joking, but sometimes it's completely serious when there's a political event and people are like, yeah, it just wasn't very entertaining. And I'm like, it was a Senate hearing.
I would love to not think about politics for like a week at a time like I used to. Although that kind of complacency is how we got here. So I guess I shouldn't say that. But like, I would love to not be panicked about politics for like 24 hours.
Yep. And then the next little fun fact from history is the first Indian woman was elected to the House of Representatives in 2017. Pramila Jayapal. Yeah, 2017. Before the first Indian woman was elected to the House. So that's wow. People talk about Asian erasure a lot, and that's such a real thing. And that's something we haven't really even talked about on this podcast before, but like, let's not forget it. Yeah. So if we're lucky, we will have another first coming up to add to our list of like fun trivia in January 2021 when Biden is sworn into office and Kamala's our VP. And then in, 2024 when she becomes, the actual presidential nominee, and then our POTUS, and I will sob for 18 months.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll be sobbing either way because I think the alternative is an Ivanka Trump presidency in 2024. So
yeah,
I hope those are happy tears.
Me too. Yeah, that's just Kamala Harris in a nutshell.
I love it.
And some fun little trivia. Hope you enjoyed.
I did. Thank you. I learned a lot.
Yeah. So we can do some good trouble fucking hoorays kitten corner. I already gave my little critter corner update on my guinea pigs, although I didn't tell anybody their names.
Yes, tell us, please.
Yes. So they are 2 geriatric guinea pig rescues. They haven't really had a lot of human interaction in the past, like, at least year of their life. But nonetheless, I had to give them some great old lady names. One of them is named Ruth Bader Ginsburg because, of course, she is the boss of the 2. And she's also the more fearless, of course.
I actually didn't know that they were geriatric, and now this is like funnier.
Yep. Yeah, they're old for guinea pigs. And then the other one is named Poppy Seed. I just call them Ruth and Poppy for short. So yeah, they're my little old ladies. We're getting used to each other. I love them.
That's cute. They're very cute.
They're very cute.
We'll post some videos on Instagram.
They'll definitely be on our Instagram. I thought about grabbing them and putting them on the camera right now so that you can see them if you're on our YouTube, but I don't know if they would like that.
Also, like, Sage is in the room, and like, what if he gets one?
Oh, he won't get one while I have them.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. He knows
Well,
better.
that's like a very fun fucking hooray.
Yeah. The only other fucking hooray I would have would be that we had our first snow.
Oh.
And I don't know if it depends on who you ask, whether or not that's a fucking hooray or a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a fucking hooray because it was really freaking pretty. Like the
Aw.
snow on the trees, when the trees still have all their like beautiful fall leaf colors, was gorgeous. So
That does sound
I
nice. It
enjoyed
has
it.
not snowed here yet.
Yeah, we had snow twice.
Wow.
Stuck both times.
Wow.
How about you? What are your fucking hoorays?
I slept for 15 hours. That was great. My own little medically induced coma. Oh, that reminds me. Well, the debate is over. That's a fucking hooray.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
I don't know. I guess that's it. I mean, I'm thrilled. I can't believe that Andrea Chalupa agreed to come to our phone bank. We'll
Yeah,
put
that's the
that
best.
link in the bio, and we'll also put it in our link tree. So I would love if anybody would come up to that. Or
Seriously,
come to that.
join us. It'll be a Halloween party and a
Yeah.
phone bank.
I don't know
more
what I'm
could you
going to wear
need?
yet, but I will put on a costume.
I have ideas, so if anybody needs some ideas for dressing up, let me know. I think about Halloween all the time.
Yeah, we've been exchanging Pinterest ideas.
Yeah. I don't have any good trouble this week, but I do have a very petty complaint.
What is that?
And it's about Kamala Harris, specifically her outfits, specifically her shoes. All right. First things first, I fucking love her style. I like her style so much.
And she like owns it.
She owns it so well. And I think it's great that she wears comfortable footwear. Like, not only because she looks really fucking cool, but like, she's campaigning. Of course she should be wearing her Converse and her Timberlands. And like, yeah. But my complaint is not Kamala wearing comfy shoes and looking fucking fantastic. My complaint is a bunch of white women who are making that the focal point of their conversations about her and thinking that they're really doing something when they go out and buy a pair of Converse shoes. Like, now I'm making a difference. My Converse shoes are a political statement. No, the fuck they're not. Sign up to Phone Bank or
Please.
donate that money to help get Biden-Harris elected and other, like Democratic candidates down your ballot. This performative activism and just like white feminist bullshit.
Yes.
I am so tired of it. I didn't necessarily realize it existed. And then when I did,
can't stop seeing it.
I knew that white feminist bullshit existed,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that surrounding her shoes existed because
Yeah.
I was just excited to see a politician who was like, no, I'm going to wear what I wear and like I'm going to wear comfortable fucking shoes. Men get to wear comfortable shoes when they campaign.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yes, I love to see it. She's owning it. Great. And then I realized, oh wow, there's people who are celebrating her shoes in that they think that now they're making a political statement by wearing them. I hate all of those people. I'm very sorry if you're one of those people. Now you know, wearing your Converse, not a political statement. You should just wear them because they're comfortable. And if you wear them like to work with your skirt because you've been told that you should wear heels and you can't wear heels or you hate heels, great. That's a statement. Wearing comfortable footwear to say fuck the patriarchy, that is the part that's a statement. That's not a political statement. That's not going to help get children who've been separated from their parents at the border reunited. That's not going to help people maintain their protection for pre-existing conditions. That's not going to help protect women's rights or LGBTQIA plus rights. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Donate some money. Donate some time. Go the fuck and vote.
Yeah. It's like put up or shut up.
My God.
Yeah.
End rant.
Oh, good. I had that same like thought spiral sometime this week, and I'm glad you put it into words for me. Thank you.
Sorry, my dog just jumped into the guinea pig pen.
The good one or the
good one? Abby did. She wants their poop.
Okay.
She really wants their poop. She's disgusting.
I was pretty much done. My only other kitten update is that I forgot to text the vet. Like, just time isn't real anymore. Like,
It's true. What is time?
so I was like, yeah, we've probably had them for like about a month or so. I bet they're like about 8 or 9 weeks, can probably get spayed soon. Nope, I did the math. They're like 14 weeks or something now. They could definitely have gotten adopted already.
No.
Like, I know. They'll probably get adopted soon. They still have to be spayed, but that's what's up with them. So
Well,
we may be
they're
getting,
very freaking cute.
they're very cute. They'll make great pets. So yeah, I guess that's all. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. Well then,
I think that's going to be it. You know, YouTube watchers, I can grab my guinea pigs if you want to see them.
do it.
But otherwise, for the rest of you, we're going to sign off.
Get your flu shot. Call your senators. Tell them not to confirm Amy Coney Barrett because this is a fucking sham. And
Sign up to
please
phone
vote.
bank with us.
Oh yeah, and phone bank with us. And like I said, phone banking. I'm phone banking every single day, every evening during the week, and all day Saturday and Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday. Please join me. I would love that. If you live in Chicago and you join me, I'll bring you a plant. I got these cute ass pots from Crate and Barrel for less than $5 each. I'm a thrifty shopper. They're really cute.
Katie also breeds very healthy plants, so you'll love them.
I breed healthy plants. Is that what
You
you said?
do. You're so good at plants.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. So that's also, please get involved. If you are too shy to phone bank, donate some money, please. Okay. Yeah. So look out later this week for the episode about like Illinois fair tax and our cool representatives that are up for election later this week. And then Morgan and I will talk to you on Monday, which is the last episode before the election. So in the meantime, stay sexy and
Vote. Fucking vote, man.
please. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, go get Poppy and Ruth. Dogs, go on. Okay, so normally I would like to have a little towel to wrap them up in. I don't right now. But this one is Ruthie. There's my Ruth Baderkins pig. Hi.
Oh my God.
Isn't she so cute? She's so cute. I'll post some like photos and videos of them eating because when they eat, it's adorable. Mm-hmm. Hey, and here's my little poppy seed. Aww. Which one is more friendly? Ruth is a little bit less scared of people. Hmm. So I'd say maybe her. But yeah, they're both fairly friendly in terms of like they don't bite or anything. They just they're not used to being handled by people. They're not chill. Yeah, to them like people just like drop food off and walk away. And so they're like, "Why are you cuddling me? I don't understand." Yeah, so Ruth is less like fearful, but Poppy's more curious. Gotcha. And so when I'm holding her, she's a little bit more like, "Ooh, what's going on?" Whereas Ruth is more just like, "Fine, I'll just hang out then." Both of them have peed on me, so nice. I take that as a good sign. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh yeah. Right. Well, this has been Critter Corner with our YouTube friends. All right. Vote and maybe adopt some geriatric guinea pigs. Yeah. Yeah. Guinea pigs are high maintenance, but they're so worth it. You heard it here first. They're so worth it.
Thank you guys so much for listening to For Your Misinformation. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you like it, give us a rating and a review. It helps us find more listeners, and the more of us there are, the better.
And make sure you're following along on Instagram and Twitter at FYMI Pod.
Shout out to Kyle Dibdahl for the intro and outro music, Hope Dye for the podcast art, and Ben Schlofelt for the audio production.
We come out with new episodes every Monday.
For Your Misinformation is part of the Demcast family of podcasts.